Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Alphawisdom. I am Mystic Cassandria, a psychic, a palmist, Reiki master, author, and musician. This channel offers lessons in how to read palms. The lessons are easy to understand and you will progress rapidly. Now my website is called alphawisdom.love. And it's listed below, including contact information just below this video. If you are interested in getting a reading from me, please check the contact information. It's all there for you. Okay, this is lesson 16. It's a continuation of our discussion of the thumb. The thumb is very important because it shows your willpower and the control you have over your circumstances and yourself. Now, the thumb can be measured and the thumb can be played with as far as its flexibility is concerned. The two main things to know about the thumb, and then in knowing that, you will understand a person quite well, even though you don't know the person very well. Understanding implies the willpower, how they handle them circumstances. Is this a person that you can work with comfortably as far as flexible? If you have ideas, you can share, communicate. Or is the person's a little stiff, a little more rugged, not quite that flexible? So this is how the thumb is. It's so important. So we're going to do an exercise first so we can see just how flexible or stiff your thumb is. So you will need to use both hands, and I suggest as you're using your left hand and your right hand, you determine which hand for you is your active hand and what hand is the inactive hand. Now, the inactive hand is also referred to as the passive hand. The active hand is the one that you just automatically go to. Perhaps it's the one you write with. It's the one you depend on without even thinking about it. Okay? Now, the length that we talk about, we're talking about the top or the tip of the thumb, holding it next to the index finger, and seeing where it measures when we come to this joint. This is the flange. This is the third flange. Remember, that's another name for section. And see where this comes in. If it comes in 1/4 down, or I should say up from this joint, if it goes about 1/4, it's considered average. If it goes up to 1/2, it's still average. If it's above half, above the center of that section, it's considered long. Now let's say if it is below here, or below 1/4, it's considered short. So these are the lengths that we have when we're talking about the length of the thumb. Short, average, long. We clear? All you need to do for measuring is a measuring tape or a rule. You may have one that looks modern. It doesn't matter, just once it measures. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some of the things I have for you today. All right, remember we were talking about the floppy thumb, and it has a curve. All right. We leave this for a moment for another exercise. Okay, now using your hands for flexibility of the thumb. If your thumb can bend, this is considered flexible. If you find that you want to bend it and it's not cooperating with you, it's nothing wrong with your thumb. It just talks about your flexibility. And it's important you do it with both hands because you'll find there'll be a difference. So I would like for you to look at the base of the thumb and put your opposite hand's thumb right there at the base for supporting. You're putting it really on the skin side. And you're going to take the index finger and pull down. Not where it hurts, but just feel if you have any trouble bending or if it's going to bend. That's flexible. Now go to the other hand. Place the opposite thumb, index finger, and bend. Do you feel a difference? You should. Usually this one is a little stiffer on the active hand. On the active hand. It's like you've been through so much in your life, you've experienced things, and intuitively you automatically sort of stiffen. You've learned from the lessons you have experienced. And as a result, you realize intuitively that you don't need that much flexibility. Okay? Hope you did that exercise. Now let's go back to what we're talking about. All right, bending. All right, and this is what the stiff looks like, just as a little reminder. Now let's look at a photo of a hand. What I was telling you about the flexibility, and you see where the black point is, that black line. It shows the base of the third flange of the index finger. And you see the tip of the thumb. That's short. That's a short thumb. All right? Let's look at another one. Let's take a look at this one. You'll notice that the arrow is pointing toward the center of the third flange or section. That thumb is, and that's the right hand of this person, is bending. It has that curve. And that's another thing. Usually a bendable thumb has a natural curve in it. Just looking at a thumb like that, you know this person is flexible. Okay? And finally, here's an example of a long thumb. You'll notice that the tip of that thumb almost gets to that line that leads to the second flange. It's letting you know that this is a long thumb. Okay? Finally, a little information on these. The average thumb will have no excessive tendency and seems to be well balanced. The short thumb shows the person has fewer reserves of persistence and finds it difficult in going alone. The long thumb, the person has abundant reserves of self-discipline, persistence, and self-mastery. And finally, the long thumb is the boss. That's the one that's a CEO. They reach for the top. All right? The short thumb will not go alone. He needs a support system. There's nothing wrong with him or her. It's just that to keep going, they need someone to help them, to pull them along, give them the courage that they're looking for. And finally, the average thumb, there's a little bit of boss in there. They've got it all. This is the average thumb. Okay. If you have questions, you can also always write to me below. Send a comment. or a question. I will answer your questions. Okay, we've come to the end of lesson 16. There's a little more to say about the thumb, and we'll cover that in lesson 17. Well, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching your thumbs, and so this information is digested and becoming a part of you. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Again, thank you for watching. Continue to stay safe. Bye till next time.